Okay. Show me.
It's a cruel It's a cruel, cruel summer. Leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel summer. Running wrong. You're not the only one. It's a cruel summer. Leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel summer.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the return of the Horror Roundtable. How is everybody doing out there tonight? I'm the Creepy Kentuckian. And unmute yourself, Uncle Bill. This is technically Uncle Bill's show, so. It was unmuted.
I'm telling you, man, like, I'm not joking when I say this computer is not going to last very much longer. Like, when I hit shit, it takes it about 10 seconds to even fucking register that anything's been hit. And then, like, so I hit it again and it'll just,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, no. So, Uncle Bill's here tonight, right? Because you've no-showed the last two of these things.
Technically, I didn't no-show it. My
Computer
internet
issues
went off last time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is technically the first one that we've done since April. So we're going to randomly go through, some questions in the chat, some people, if they pop in. We've got a couple of people waiting already. So let's do some introductions, boys. Our favorite native of northern West Virginia is in the house, boys, and he's a huge fan of Phantasm. It's our boy Phantasm Matt.
That's right, the one and only. Hey, listen, I know what Uncle Bill can get for Prime Day in a couple days: a new laptop.
Well, if people don't know though, like, and I was kind of shocked that it would work. Like, Uncle Bill, you're using a Chromebook right now, right? And it's an older Chromebook.
Yeah. This thing's probably, well, it's done every single show that we've done, like, of the newer shows. It's probably about 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
So it's served its purpose, but
yeah.
How's everything going tonight, Matt? Good to have you on here.
Man, not doing bad at all. Glad to be here.
And also, Mahia, Texas's favorite son.
That's right.
Yeah, all the way down in Mahia, brother. The real deal himself, Mr. J. Real.
What y'all
Hell
sons of
yes.
bitches talking about?
Not too much. Before we get started, give us a big flex there, Jason. You got the muscle shirt on. Jaws, which we're going to be doing a live commentary for that one here in probably the next week or so. We'll
I'd like to be a part of that. Of course, you know it's my favorite movie. So.
We'll get with you on that for sure, Jay, because you're the Jaws mega. I think Uncle Bill's a pretty big fan of Jaws as well.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Everybody likes Jaws. So, yeah, always good to have you on here as well. Jay, you doing all right this evening?
Doing pretty good, pretty good.
So we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. I'm going to do some shout outs and then we'll get started because there's a lot of like randomness to talk about, I think. And, but anybody in the chat, if you have any topics as well, just throw them our way. I'm sure some more people will pop in throughout the night too. So it's always fun to get everybody involved. But anyway, Jerry, which this is Jerry Horror from back in the Dead Pit message board days for anybody that remembers him. 4K Tent Revival, Crash 517, Jason Naylor, Justin Marino, The Witch Hunter, Scott S, Rambo Raff for Life. What is up, sir? Nicholas Day, Blithful Baby, Movie Junkie John, aka Big Match John. That's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyler Durden, Wes Ray, Business of Fear, Ken Carlson, Mac Boy Color, Texas HXCX 1965, baby. Money Saving with Mimi, Back for Blood, the Mayor, Tabata Vision is here. Welcome, sir. Red Reds, Manny Gatillo is in the house. Something Wicked, Mike Clark, Chris Carncross, who I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's Australian. So we got somebody in here from Australia. Yeah. Welcome, Chris.
Oh,
Evil
Kearney Cross.
Evil Dead Chick Dana is in here. I figured she would be streaming still tonight.
Hey, Dana.
No, she finished up summer school, I think, already. She had like a live commentary.
Maggot fingers, balls. Maggot fingers. So yeah. Carlos, say welcome, man. Ali Hamoud. Uncle Bill. Ali Hamoud is in here. CJM753BC. We got a lot of people in here, boys. And a lot of new people. LA Jewel.
Hell yeah.
Ryan
Hell.
Tom,
Hey.
great
Jewel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you like how LA Knight's getting himself over old school style, man? They're not
He's
pushing him.
basically- No, he's getting over, but he's basically doing the Rock, isn't he? Like from what I've
The Rock mixed
seen.
with Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like the fucking promos sound exactly like the Rock almost.
Right, but I mean, they got over, and he's getting over too. So
Yeah,
he's-
it's not a bad
he's
idea.
ripping
Just
off
steal
the
a
right
gimmick.
people. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that rip us off. And
So before
do
we
shit.
get started, though, too, and I was curious about this too because I was like, how many of these damn roundtable shows have we done? So this is the 19th roundtable live stream that we've done since we come back. The first one was November 29th, 2020. But the first actual roundtable, Uncle Bill, you want to have a rough guess on when that was and who was on it?
What do you mean? The first one of this, like
No, the
For the
first,
first one of all time.
ever of all time.
Jesus Christ, man. I have no idea. Like I would say, let's see, 2009 or 10.
No, it was way before then.
Oh God, I don't know.
April the 28th, 2006, and the participants along with us was Scott Goldberg and Dave Stigneri, two New York
That makes
filmmakers
sense.
from back in the day. So if anybody says that they have done the horror roundtable before us, they're fucking goddamn liars.
God
I just
damn.
wanted to say
Did somebody
that.
say that? Does anybody really say that?
Well, I'm noticing, and I'm not picking on Dana because she's in here because she did one, but there's a few people that's using the horror roundtable name, and that's fine. But you need to give us credit, right, Uncle Bill? We invented it.
We did. We invented the idea of doing a roundtable before, like C-SPAN.
Well, it's called the
anybody-
Horror Roundtable.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that like I said before, they draw a lot of inspiration from our show, and it helps them with their own shows. And so I'm glad that we can inspire. We really should set up like a inspirational foundation, like the Dead Pit
I wish we could there was a way
Inspiration Station.
to get some
Yeah.
kind of commission for this shit, but there's not. So I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. But anyway, Horror
Oh, shit, he's
Roundtable.
actually from New Zealand, man. That's even better because you know what that means.
Okay. So he's in Australia though, because I think I remember mailing him some stuff back in the day. Because
Yeah.
the name is unusual, which it's cool. It's a cool name and everything, but you don't hear the name Cairn Cross, or whatever how you pronounce it very often. So anyway, and I know you gave us full credit, Dana, but you're not the problem. These other motherfuckers are the problem, right, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few of them that are a problem.
Oh God! So you guys, what in the hell y'all want to talk about tonight? This is an open topic. Anybody in the chat, if you've got anything, I'll star it, and we can go through that as well.
I got a couple of things if you want me to start,
Go for it.
because I feel like I've been questioning this for a while now. So I'm going to read you guys a list of some things here real quick. You tell me what all these things have in common. It'll be like a trivia game. The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Renfield, and Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. What do all those things have in common?
They all suck.
Yeah, that too.
They were
But-
all made by uncreative Hollywood douches.
Yes, that as well. But they all failed to perform at the box office and or flopped at the box office. So I guess my question is, what the fuck is going on? Like almost every major release here in the last while has flopped horribly, with maybe like the exception here recently of Insidious, which actually did better than people thought it was going to do. So
What, did that one already come out?
yeah, the projected they came out this weekend. It projected to make like,
Didn't that actually go
Oh,
to number
shit.
one and knock?
it
Dial of
made
Destiny
more
out?
money than the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I think it knocked Dial of Destiny.
Are
down to
you
2.
kidding?
No.
Really?
Damn.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what's the deal is what my question is.
Well, they keep making them. I don't understand why. I saw that Dungeons and Dragons movie sort of because I was at a friend's house, and it's on. I think it's on HBO now or something like that. You can actually watch that new. So they had it on in the background, and I kind of was watching it, and just it's like another one of those dime a dozen. Like, you don't give a shit about any of the characters. It's all just nonsense. Like, even for general audiences, I don't understand what people are, and clearly they're not, because they're not making money on it. So are they just like grasping at straws at this point to try and be like, no, we need you to make these movies money? What's the appeal of them? I personally don't get it.
Well, I would say, like in the case of Indiana Jones, I mean, what is the age of the fans of Indiana Jones now? My age, 57. How many people are going to the theater that would be fans of, Indiana Jones now? And of course, the man's 80 years old. Exactly what audience are they targeting with that movie? The old school fans, or are they trying to make new fans, or are they just trying to make up for how bad Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was?
Do you think though that maybe like that idea of the resurrection or the reboot or the remake or whatever it is, like people have actually gotten tired of that formula now, because like we were thinking about it. There's almost nothing they haven't done that with now. I mean, they did it with Ghostbusters. They did it with almost any franchise movie that you can think of. They've rebooted it. And I wonder if that's part of it. Like, are people just tired of like that? They know it's not going to be any good because, like, how
That's
many?
something that, the clips I've seen, I haven't seen the movie, but the clips I've seen of Dial of Destiny, this looks so, you talk about reboot, or it just looks like they're just trying to cover the same grounds and the same beats and the same, but with poor old Harrison Ford being 80, but trying to just dredge the same old ground. They're not trying to really bring anything new to it, or anything different, or trying to tell any kind of new story, just to try to just rehash
Well, I think
old
for
feelings and the old mood of the old movies, which they just can't do. I mean,
I don't know what you guys think about this, but for me, if I go back to the Crystal Skull movie, they at least got me in the theater to see that when I was kind of intrigued. What are they doing here? I
and
never
really,
want to
the
see.
first half of that movie is actually pretty good. Then
But
it gets bad.
from
But-
what I've seen of the new one, I don't ever want to watch it. I never want to see it. Like it does not need to exist. There's no reason for that movie to be out. To be honest, the fourth one should have never happened either. So, and Hollywood, and we've said this for years, but now it's not working, which I think is great. It's going to force some of them people to get in there and think of something new and unique and everything, because I don't know if they can, but maybe they can pay somebody that can. These superhero movies, these big budget, stupid action movies of the summer and everything, people are sick of it. They're sick to death of it. And let me tell you this too. And this is, I mean, I know that people think we're overly negative, especially about mainstream stuff, but we have a right to be, because really, of all the mainstream studios and everything, can you really count, even on one hand, the past 10 years, the classic movies that have come out? It would be very hard for me to do that. Mainstream studios. We're not talking about like A24 and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think that they've milked the cow until it's totally like dry at this point. And they're kind of stuck, man. I don't know what they're going to do, because Indiana Jones, you would think for sure that would be a huge moneymaker regardless.
I don't think that, like, the target audience of people that will go to the movie theaters now don't give a shit about Indiana Jones. Like, that's kind of I think a big part of the problem with that movie. Like, it's not a Marvel movie,
also,
and it's
but-
not
and-
like.
Also,
go ahead,
and Wes just said it, I have no interest in seeing it. And I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. I mean, the Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my all-time favorite movies.
What's up, guys?
And, the first three are classics in one way or another. But I have no interest in seeing Dial of Destiny. None at all. I may
Me
catch
neither,
it on
really.
streaming someday, maybe. But I really have no interest in seeing it.
Well, look
So-
who's late to the party, boys. We fucking predicted it. He had to get his green screen put up so people couldn't see his hoarding mentality in the background there.
You
Hey,
leave
guys,
him
you
alone.
We got Ryan and Mark joining us too. Welcome, guys.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
So we were talking about, the latest Hollywood big budget, surefire hits that are kind of the shits.
Mhm.
What do you guys think of it?
The fatigue is set in. People don't want to see the same crap over and over. It's sort of like when, if you guys remember how the Transformers movies came out, they were a big hit, but slowly, surely, those box offices kind of died down.
And there's
Look
another
there.
one of those coming out.
Right. They'll still make them. I mean, just like with the superhero movies, they're not going anywhere. They'll still be made, but I think
I think
they're gonna
that
have
Transformers movie already came out too, didn't it? Didn't it bomb already?
It did, yeah. I forgot
Has
about
it
that
already
one.
come out? I didn't
I
know
could
it-
have added that
Yeah,
That
one.
look-
looked
either.
like fucking, oh God, that looks so terrible. I saw the trailer for that in something not too long ago.
Yeah, I think they're
That's-
going like to the 90s in that movie
the
too, which is
hell?
weird.
Yeah.
They're pulling out all the stops, trying to do nostalgia like any way they can to get people to come, see these movies, but it's just not working.
Well, they need to do Transformers versus GoBots in the next one.
Well, did you guys see a while back? I think I posted this on the Discord where apparently Mattel, because like this Barbie
Oh,
movie
yeah.
was such a huge hit, that they're digging into like all these licenses that they have, like Hot Wheels, Uno,
Uno.
but yeah, Barney the
That'd be so fucking
dinosaur, and
I
all
was
this
gonna
other
say,
stuff.
yeah,
hungry,
like,
hungry hippos.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But what really blew my mind, speaking of Indiana Jones, I saw it actually this weekend, and I didn't believe this until I saw the trailer sitting there. I was just like pinching myself. They're making a movie called Gran Turismo based off like the PlayStation video games.
Why not at this point? Yeah, I mean,
It's based off the real guy who
Yeah.
won the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the PS3, he's now like an actual like race car driver. But
Mhm.
still,
Anthony, what's up,
Yo.
man?
Yo, what's up?
What's up? Not much, guys. Just listening to your conversation about Hollywood these
like I
days.
100%. Yeah.
I swear that Barbie movie is going to be the biggest box office hit of the year. It's looking like it's going to be.
That's hilarious.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's their prediction.
mhm.
It's something different than superhero movies, so people are like, all right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it honestly might have the potential to actually be good. I mean,
That's what people are saying. Yeah.
I got to be honest, like those trailers and stuff, I mean, they're funny. You know, it doesn't look terrible, but it's so campy and so, you know, left field. And just even the director, you know, she did that A24 movie, Lady Bird, and I think that was a successful movie.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like that's a weird concept. You have Indiana Jones coming and it flops. You have all these other movies that come and flop, and then you have something like Barbie that just comes out of nowhere, and people go nuts.
Yeah. Margot Robbie's hot, so I'll go see it.
Yeah.
We got a super chat here real quick. Jim Caviezel knocked out Indy 5 as the #1 box office movie. Which movie is that?
I don't know.
Was he doing like a Christian movie or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Return of the Passion or something like that? I don't know.
There is a sequel to that. coming,
Revenge of the
actually.
Christ.
Yeah. Mel Gibson's going back to the well, guys.
That
He's
would be-
back and he's pissed off.
Liz is-
Damn.
Return of the
amazing
Living
movie.
Cross.
Why are you wearing
No.
crosses? I don't want to see a cross. Have a fish instead.
Yeah, we've got a couple random things on here I wanted to mention to you guys. Different conversation. I think Garrett already got this because he was doing like an
course he
unboxing
did.
video or something. Wes Ray is asking, did you guys see Spirit Halloween just released a Killer Clowns popcorn gun replica that lights up and makes sounds? All for the whoa! It's $100.
Yeah.
That's so killer.
You can get it on the website right now.
I bet Mark's already ordered it. Bet
It's
me.
still in stock.
Bet me right now.
That's
I
crazy.
guarantee it.
It's
No,
huge.
I would. I mean, I'm
The
waiting.
FOMO
on
will kick in. Don't worry.
I'm waiting on Severin to release the House on the Edge of the Park like knife or whatever. That's what I want. Razor. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that popcorn gun, I mean, it's huge. I don't know if you guys watched Garrett's video yet, but it's like that other cotton candy gun that came out last year. It was relatively small, like easily could display it on your shelf, and it was only about $40, I think. And that was like a huge hit last year. But this popcorn gun is just like a Nerf gun, like the giant Nerf guns. That's what it looks like.
$100.
So, does it actually shoot popcorn?
No, just makes
course not.
noise.
Well, fuck that then. Now, if it actually like shot like a tater gun, it shot popcorn out of it, I'd get it.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
you can
not
pop your own popcorn and it shoots it out. Like,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
paying
Yeah.
$100 for.
I still wouldn't get it. I mean, I don't have room for shit like that anyway. And even if I did, like, to me, there's a lot more. And I love Killer Clowns. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's one of the movies I grew up on as a kid. But nah, I'm good.
Now, I've been getting into that Spirit Halloween mood the last couple of days, you know, just kind of wondering what they'll put out. I'm not interested in that Killer Clowns gun, but there's another item that isn't really being talked about too much right now that they're supposedly putting out. And I guess I don't want to tell anybody because I want to get one, damn it. But
Well, tell us, pal. You know,
Yeah,
we'll
I'll
keep
tell-
it hush
I'll-
hush.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody-
you
I'm
can
not
put
gonna,
it in the private
you know I'm not
chat
gonna buy
there.
it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you got a private chat to use, so
You
we
can't
can-
tell Mark though. You should probably like take Mark out of here because Mark will buy shit.
Yeah,
out of
Mark
it.
will probably buy 5 or 6 of
Banish
them.
him for a moment.
Well,
Shit.
I'll just go ahead and say it. It's being rumored that there is a Child's Play 2 Jack in the Box.
Oh my god, Garrett will have 6 of them damn things. You'll have him set up all around him like a damn railroad track.
So yeah, I haven't heard any official. I didn't see any like official posts from them about it, but I've heard from a couple people and seen some pictures. They're out there.
I know some people were. One thing that I don't really have a whole lot, but one thing that I did want to mention, and this was on sale earlier this week on the Vinegar Syndrome halfway subscriber deal or whatever the hell they call it. I don't know. They're doing a new line of comic books, like limited edition comic books, and people are freaking the hell out. The zombie box set, $75. You know, it's like kind of like a hardbound box. All of the zombie Fulci comics, it all looks really, really cool. It sold out within the first couple of days.
Mhm.
Yep.
Are you guys big into the comic game? If not, or if you are, if you're not, are you getting this set? Did you order it? And because this is a whole new, I mean, I just can't do it. I collect too much shit as it is, so I'm not going to get started down that hole.
No, I'll just tell you right now. I'm not into the comics or anything, so I didn't get that.
So I passed on it, but I mean, years ago, yeah, I was kind of into comic books and whatnot. And what's crazy is they're all re-releases. Like Ebon put that out years ago, the whole zombie series. It wouldn't surprise me if they go ahead and start republishing the Beyond, the Maniac, Maniac versus New York Ripper. Those were some that they had done. So who knows?
So any of you other guys into the comic book thing, or pretty much bowing out on that?
I've got. Oh, they came out several years ago. Hardbound editions of the Peanuts comics, and I've got most of those volumes. I'd love to have the Bloom County sets, and they years and years, decades ago, they came out with editions, reprints of the old Tales from the Crypt comics. But I'd love to have those, you know. But no, I never have. I was a kid. I used to collect comics. I had just like.
I would imagine reprints of those Tales from the Crypt would be very difficult to, because they're going through a big legal thing with all that shit, aren't they? The Tales from the Crypt stuff.
I haven't checked like Amazon or anything. They used to carry it, but I don't know if they still do. But
I've got a few single issue reprints of like Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. I'd love to have those.
Yeah, I'd get some of those reprints, but like I don't collect like I used to anymore. Like you said, CK, it's just you'll go down the rabbit hole of collecting that, then they'll come out with something else, and it'll never end. I mean, in physical media, I mean, how many sales have we had? Like I like physical media, but man, there's so many sales. There's so much coming out.
I don't even want to get into that shit, man. Like how much money that I've spent in the past 2 weeks on all this stupid like. It gets to a point where you're just sitting there, like after you bought a lot of this stuff, and I'm just questioning my life decisions. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I really do have those moments where I just spent like $145 on a bunch of like damn Blu-rays or some, you know, it's like, what are you doing?
Yep.
You're 40-some years old.
Space, you know,
It's like sitting around buying limited edition Blu-rays off some website. Some dude's gonna make like
That's
you know,
supposedly
$4
on
million.
sale.
Yeah,
Right.
they're gonna make $4
But they're
million
like-
a year off a bunch of nerds like us.
$55 a movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposedly on sale.
It's like what the I mean, there'll be these moments of clarity. It's like a drug addiction or something. These moments of clarity, and then the next thing will come out, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, I got to get that." It's like it just never ends.
UB, we always call it a sickness. It really is.
Yeah,
That's a shirt, CK. You should make that. Put like a Blu-ray logo on there.
Get
Put
down
it's
with
a
the sickness.
Yeah.
I'm
They're gonna have to-
completely on the other side of the spectrum. I haven't bought the last physical media I bought was the Apocalypse Now kind of a box set because it had the documentary that Coppola's wife made on it, and it's actually got a 4K version of the director's cut and original theatrical version. And I think that was 3 years ago. And unless it's been like a $1.25 movie at Dollar Tree, I just do not buy physical media anymore. Man, most of that is because I just don't have the money. What little money I have, I spend on making my own stupid movies. So. But yeah, I'm way on the other side of the spectrum. I just don't buy physical media. I don't do it.
I think
It's-
more and more these days. I don't know what you guys think. Like the Bluetooth community, Bluetuber. So it's like it's about the product itself more than the movie. And I'm seeing that more and more. Like there's all these, and I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but there's a ton of people that'll buy something and say, "Oh, I bought this. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know nothing about it. It looked cool."
Well, like there's nothing. I would say there's nothing wrong with blind buying shit like that because I've hit some gems for sure. We all have, But what bothers me is when people go, "This movie sucks," but look how cool the cover is or the packaging is. That is kind of where I'm just like shaking my head, kind of wondering like, why?
Yeah, because it comes like a space issue too. Because if the space dries up and then you have like these movies that are shitty, it's like, why are you hanging on to them if you're never going to watch them again or ever watch them at all? Like going back to the comic thing, like, yeah, I would never, unless it's like Resident Evil, that's it. But like, I can't make room for anything else. It's just like there's vinyl, there's CDs, there's the media. Like, we're going to suffocate in all this shit. There's, so it's like, there has to be, but like I agree, like there's so many things that like maybe it's just not even worth holding on to if like you can make space for something you will rewatch, or actually open up and watch to begin with.
I've been taking advantage of that Camp Arrow sale, the whole digital sale. I mean, for $4, you can watch it. So it also saves space for $4.
Oh, Uncle Bill's internet went out again.
Oh no.
Cracker bottom 10K internet.
Rambo, if they had a Madman Mars comic of any sort, I would get it. I mean, I'm not kidding. Speaking of which, I want to try to film this after I do this. Anthony probably knows what this is.
Oh yeah.
It's another package from Mars.
It's the big boy.
Yeah. Anything Madman related like that with artwork and everything, which I would love to see Paul Ehlers do the illustrations and stuff like that on it too, because he was the guy that actually, a lot of people may not realize this, that designed the Madman logo and the original poster that was never used, which
wasn't that like the opening credit, like with all the tree hands and all that stuff, like where the tree limbs look like hands or whatever?
Yeah, that was his stuff.
Doesn't he, or didn't he used to make like custom knives and such? Like,
I think he still does. He designs them. I don't think he hand makes them or anything, but like I don't know what style art you call that, but yeah,
I think it's like fantasy knives or something is what you would technically call that.
Yeah, that's kind of what he made a living at for years and years and years. So I think he's still doing that.
That's one thing I'll say about Paul Ehlers is by every birthday for the past good 10, 15 years, I get a happy birthday from Paul Ehlers. So.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I did a little interview with him at the dreaded Fear Fest, 100 years ago, and it's on that Blu-ray, and I think it's on that 4K too, isn't it? That interview I did with him.
Yeah, we've had that, the documentary, which everybody is, me and Uncle Bill, and I think Jay, I think you're in that one too. And then the interviews and stuff, they've been on the Code Red DVD, the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, and the Vinegar Syndrome 4K. So they've transferred over like 3 different times so far. So if there's ever an 8K edition, I'm sure that I'll be on that one too.
I have a birthday coming up in September, and I can always count on a happy birthday from Paul Ehlers, which is cool. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool guy.
Well, thank fucking God. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, pal.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what was going on. I was like, I must be losing my fucking mind or something here, because like Anthony was like in the bottom just loading, and I couldn't hear like anything he was saying. He was just loading constantly on my screen. So I was like, I knew he was talking because other people were listening, but I couldn't hear a damn word he was saying. So I just had to sit here and act like, not to jump in. I just kind of had to wait to see if anybody else. So yeah, you're on my screen now. I just
Oh, there we go.
refreshed. So
Hell yeah.
thank God.
So we're
This
going to
driving me
start
nuts.
a GoFundMe so we can get Uncle Bill a new computer. I think
Listen,
somebody mentioned that.
I shit you not. Like this has got about another month in it, and this thing
Prime
is
Day,
Wow.
buddy. You got like 2 more
Right.
days, man.
Prime Day coming up. We'll see what we can do and maybe start. I don't know how GoFundMe works, but we'll see. So, any of you other guys got anything you wanted to mention on here? I can take it back to the chat.
I did pick up that Madman 4K on the Vinegar Syndrome $18 4K on Friday, which
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, me and Uncle Bill were talking about that on Friday. That was definitely the best day of the sale. I don't know if any of you other guys picked up some stuff from that, but that was like probably the best day as far as if you didn't have any of those titles.
I did really good with the sale that week because, well, I was gone most of the time or sick, which we'll talk about that, on their show. But Schizoid and the X-Ray double feature, the 4K, that was the only one that I got at the discounted price. Most of the stuff like I either already had or I would
Yeah.
never want was in that
Mhm.
sale.
That was my problem. Is I had most of that stuff already. Or I would have bought the shit out of like a lot of that, but unfortunately, already bought it. Usually during like the packages, like the bundles and all that too. That they originally came in. But I can kind of understand why some people were upset because they spent like God knows how much money on those, and then they're selling them for like $18 now. But it's just
Wait,
it's also
wait.
yeah. Another part of me is kind of like you really can't bitch at Vinegar Syndrome for giving you deals.
No.
That's all they're really doing is like people will bitch about getting a deal on something nowadays too. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
basically.
that was a pretty bad sell overall until that last day anyway, really. But I did want to ask y'all about something though, real quick, physical media related. What are your all's opinion, if any of you have seen this, for Cinemuseum? Now, Cinemuseum are the company that's releasing Fright Night 2, I think, and God, what is it? It's like a 2-pack.
One
Yeah,
and
they're doing Salem's Lot one or
Salem's
something.
Lot. Yeah. Are you guys interested in that at all? Are you gonna like? Because they're a lesser known company that kind of popped up on the radar. I don't know like what people think about them.
I've never bought anything from them. I like what they're doing. I like all the alternate covers. The whole presentation looks nice, but I don't have anything like physical from them. So what about you guys? Do you guys have anything? I would like to try them, but they're such a small company. I don't know if I trust getting anything from them.
Yeah.
Especially something with like Fright Night 2, where it's like that needs
Mhm.
a release. You know what I mean? Like a really good release. So I'd like to trust them, but I don't know. Might just wait to see if there's some reviews coming out for it.
Yeah, the Fright Night 2 thing is they're scanning it from 35 millimeter print. So the original source material and all that, whoever owns it and is, stashing it here in the U.S. or is not letting anybody access it, or they don't know where it's at. I'm not really sure, but they did go ahead and say that that's from a 35 millimeter film print is what they're sourcing it from, and that. I mean, they were originally going to do a 4K of it, and something about the footage they mentioned they couldn't do a 4K of it. So that tells me that the print probably isn't even that great. I'm not really sure, but their whole thing is these big box sets.
Yeah.
And I really, man, I don't have room for that. So, and the fact that the pricing of these things is through the roof too.
Mhm.
I just, if they do a standard edition of Fright Night 2, I might check it out just because it hasn't had anything like since the DVD. But if it's this big, $200 box set, no.
That's kind of their gimmick, yeah. Like you said, is like the big packaging. It comes with all this stuff. They did that with didn't they do the Lost Boys?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's cool to look at, and you think like it would be cool to have it, but like my personal mentality is, I just end up thinking like I don't need all that for some of these movies or most of these movies. Like I'm fine with just a standard or like kind of a special edition, but that's some like die hard stuff for these movies. And like you said, the pricing, especially since it's a foreign release, you're going to end up. I don't ever see that stuff. I could be wrong, but I don't think like Diabolic or any of those places get those, do they, when they come out?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Is the Lost Boys one even out yet?
No, I don't think it's been. So the Lost Boys, the 4K came out last fall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So usually what they do is it's like a year wait before you actually get the product. So I
Yeah,
don't
see
think,
that doesn't
Yeah.
seem promising to me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool like concept, but I just don't see like if their turnaround time is that long, you know, I don't think people are gonna stick around for a company like that. Just, I don't know.
Uncle Bill's Chromebook's overheated or something. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Shit the bed finally.
But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of studios, and I think it's usually like overseas, it's bootlegs and everything that will source from a 35 millimeter film print usually. So, I mean, it's probably going to look better than the DVD, maybe. I hope so. But I wouldn't get my hopes up too much about that.
No, a year is a long time, man. You don't want to wait that long. I mean, it sucks waiting for your vinegar syndrome thing for 2 months, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's just
Especially if you're forced to buying a box set, you know, that you
Yeah.
don't really like. If you're a big fan, yeah, but just that idea alone is a little ridiculous, you know, for the price that they'll probably ask for it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I quit that Waxwork subscription, because there was one year I waited over a year and a half to get some of my stuff. And I was just like, okay, this is enough. You
Yeah,
know,
I
I'm
couldn't.
done.
I
Wow.
couldn't do that. It's like the vinegar syndrome thing's the same way. Even though at the end of the day, it's probably a pretty good deal. But hell, how am I going to explain to my wife that I've got like $1,100 payment for a bunch of fucking movies that I'm getting over the next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in the doghouse for a while on that one. Rambo says Indy 5 may be one of the biggest bombs in history, in The Flash, one of the biggest bombs in Warner Brothers history. What I couldn't figure out about The Flash, now I'm not a big comic book guy, so I don't know. So you get Michael Keaton back as Batman, and the first movie that he does is The Flash. Like, who the fuck? That I don't get that, because there's a lot of stories I know of that they could use. Michael Keaton is like an older Batman, Bruce Wayne character, and went with that instead. I mean, wouldn't that be more of a safe bet for a movie? What do you guys think?
If they went with like the whole Batman Beyond approach, I think it would have worked so much better. If you guys are familiar with that, where it's like an older Bruce Wayne teaching somebody to basically take the mantle of the whole Batman gimmick. But reportedly, I think I heard like that Batgirl movie that got shelved, he was actually supposed to make his appearance then.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they shelved it for God only knows what. But I don't know.
What?
It was dumb in their part, in my opinion.
I haven't seen. I don't know if any of you guys have seen The Flash, but have you all heard? It kind of gets into this multiverse thing, and at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, George Clooney is Bruce Wayne. So,
I'd
So-
heard that. I
Yeah.
still haven't finished the movie. I watched like the first 30
but it has
minutes.
like a real quick shot of George Clooney, and he's Bruce Wayne at the end of it. So there's different multiverses. So I
Yeah.
thought that was funny that they put him in there.
Yeah, there's apparently 3 different because like you have Affleck at the beginning, then Keaton, and then Clooney apparently at the end. So I don't know. It sort of seems like they went for the whole Spider-Man approach. That's what happened in the last Spider-Man movie. They had the whole.
Where's Val
multiverse thing.
Kilmer at, man? They left
I was
him
about to
out.
ask about poor Val Kilmer.
Poor guy. We got a $5 Canadian, so that's more than $5, right? Is that right? That's like $5 Canadian. It's at least $6, I would think. So thank you, Tyler. Who is excited for Buster Rhymes' standalone Halloween film coming out in 2025?
No.
It needs to be Halloween Trick or Treat, motherfucker. Like that's
Yeah.
just needs to be the title of the movie.
Yeah. That has to be I mean, come on. Gotta see some more karate, kung fu stuff. Let's
Right.
get into it, you know? That's awful.
Uncle Bill, if you can hear me, I can see you, and you're moving around, bopping and everything. He's sending me a couple messages here that he's having some issues.
You brought up Buster Rhymes. Has anyone seen the Danzig vampire movie?
No.
No, I have not yet. I've been wanting to see how bad it is.
The is that out? I think they did a theatrical run for that like a couple of years ago, but it never did. Did it come out digitally or something finally?
They've done like screenings, I know of it, but other than that, I don't know. Like I know his last movie is out, Erotica or whatever. That's based off his comic books. That's an awful movie. I couldn't even get through like the second segment.
Yeah, we
It was
reviewed
bad.
that a while back. Not good.
Yeah, it sucks Batman can't, catch a break with like the current film. I mean, like the last Batman film was, okay, the Batman, but it was just like, I don't know. I just felt like DC has been having it rough with a lot of their films, and obviously, the Flash doesn't help matters with how it's performing. So
Yeah, with me, I mean, everybody talks about the DC universe and the Marvel universe and stuff like that. Like to me, I think the thing that they lost along the way is make a good freaking movie, right? Don't plan 19 freaking movies out with the logos, the release dates, and
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
Worry about it being a good movie first, rather than just a product. But that's kind of Disney's big thing.
It's
yeah,
all
like loses its charm. Yeah, definitely.
none of them work for me. That type of stuff is just I'm just not that person. I have nothing against those movies like per se, but I don't like any of them. Like they're just not made for me. That's just
Well, for me, the Marvel movies, nobody ever seems to be in any real danger. You know,
yeah.
they're always going to get out of whatever situation they're in because they're Spider-Man or they're whatever. Of course they're not going to die.
Yeah.
And the rare case where Iron Man died, but that's a very rare thing. So I never could really get into them because I never felt anyone was in any real jeopardy. Because they're
Mhm.
going to get out of it.
There's no suspense, real suspense.
Yeah, exactly. There's no suspense. It's just a lot of flipping around and special effects, which is okay, I guess, to pass the time. But definitely just something to stream or something. I wouldn't pay money at a theater to see something like that.
What do you guys hope to happen out of like all the fatigue that's going on with comic book movies? Like so far, up until this point at least, those were kind of the modern day action film. Of course, you've got your exceptions like John Wick and franchises like that, but what will replace the comic book movies, or what would you guys like to see?
I'd like it first like a damn break because I mean there's so many
Yeah.
of them that keep pumping out. Like
Mhm.
I went into the theater and there was like 2 apparently that's coming out. And I'm like, Jesus, man, like I'm so happy that I stopped really caring about watching those movies years ago. I think it was like about Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2 was when I was like, okay, I'll see
Mhm.
like the bigger titles like Avengers, maybe a Thor movie here and there, but I'm not going to watch every single one of these just to understand the whole damn plot. I got burnt out with it. And
There's too many. They're released so
Yes.
fast. It's like,
yes.
man, I don't know. I just remember like when it just didn't seem like it was so like even like 15 years ago with like the Dark Knight, like when I saw that in the theater, I was like, wow, this is actually something where I can already see this being a classic film. And some people
Yeah.
would consider it a classic film, but I think after like then you got Iron Man that same year, and then it started to build like on both sides. They started to kind of try to build these films, and just certain ones worked, and certain ones just became like the same thing over and over again. And I feel like Marvel was definitely the one that like just tried to full send the whole thing with connecting everything, and it was just like, man, like these are coming out like all the time, and it's just you just get like jaded to like the CGI fight scenes and like all the same shit. It's just like it just looks the same. And nothing is unique anymore. Everything is like the same exact thing. and it's
Mhm.
sad.
It's almost like watching a cartoon. You know,
Mhm.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's,
Well, that's what I liked about like the Batman, the most recent one. That one, I don't know if you guys enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
I actually, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good step in the right direction from where they were with, you know, Batman, Superman, and all that shit.
I liked that it wasn't the flashy jump around explosion. There's some of that stuff in there, obviously, but I like when movies like that focus more on story and not on look what we can do with our special effects and look how high our budget is. Like, I thought that was I would see more of these movies if they were handled more like seriously, because a lot of these movies don't seem, they're just not serious enough, I guess I don't know if that's the right word that I'm looking for, serious, but like, because not you want to be able to have fun still, but I
I
don't
think
know.
that's why they caught on in the first place, though, because they weren't serious, but then they just drove
Now,
that shit into the ground.
now it's too
you know.
silly,
Yeah, it's just well, it's like I can equate anything with wrestling, and it's like high spots or something like that in wrestling. Like the way they do wrestling now is like everybody's doing 50,000 moves off the top, and they're all like fighting outside and killing each other and bleeding every night. And after a while, you just get desensitized to that same thing, which is the same way with these movies. There's a million fight scenes, and
Oh yeah,
it just goes on forever.
yeah. That's I actually bought the 4K for the Batman, and I haven't even opened it yet.
I have the steelbook. It's actually a pretty cool steelbook.
That's the one I got as well. But that's like kind of another thing. Like, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but when I see a movie like that or something that I really like a lot and kind of has a good impact on me, it's almost like I don't want to rush to rewatch it. Like, I wait a long time before I rewatch movies that I think are really good, because I don't know, there's something about like just letting yourself just kind of like think about it for a long time, and then like when you finally do come back and rewatch it, sometimes it's even better than the first time. I don't like to like wear those ones out, and that's the Batman is one that I feel that way about. So, and that's already been like 3 years now, so maybe I'm due for a rewatch on that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it came out. Well, it was I know it was in theaters, and I remember I went to the theater to see it, and then it was like on HBO like shortly after. I don't think it was released simultaneously. That was the one that they like waited, I think.
Mhm.
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good step in and I like the Joker too. I thought that was a good like darker film,
Of course.
that was just like more bleak and messed up, and like I like stuff like that. I like things that just kind of like turns you upside down by the end, and it doesn't really leave you with a good feeling, other than like the contrast of the other superhero movies where it's like there's always some kind of powerful ending, and yes, it's like no. Like sometimes it's better to go the other way and take a chance, and I'm happy they kind of did that with I don't know how the sequel's going to be, but I liked at least the first one as it like stood on its own. But I know they're trying to connect everything now, so
what is it? The Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So yeah, it's like I don't know how that's going to end up, but we'll see. I really thought the first one was a good, was a good step.
I really liked it, and I kind of did the same thing you did. I mean, it was probably a good year went by before I actually saw it again. I got the Blu-ray. I still don't have a 4K player. Still don't.
Hmm.
I'll get one someday.
Prime Day's coming up, Jay.
Oh yeah, the players always drop. So
Yeah.
But
The,
but I did that. I kind of sat on it, and waited, just to kind of,
You guys think though, like, and we were talking about, the lack of big, blockbuster movies. I mean, there's a few, of course, like the Mario Brothers movie. Somebody mentioned that one. That one's made a ton of money, but there's really not as many. Do you think, like, 3 years ago, the audience was, they were able to see a lot of first run movies streaming, and even now, like, the wait is like much less than it used to be. Like a month later or something like that, you can get it on streaming. So
well, sometimes they release it at the same time. They release
Yeah.
it streaming and in the theaters at the same time.
do you guys still go to the movie theaters regularly? Because honestly, with me, like, it's been many months. I think I saw, maybe the last one was Megan or something like that I saw in the theaters whenever that came out.
Last one I saw in the theater was Top Gun Maverick.
Well, at least that was a good movie to go see.
Yeah.
Because I went to see I went to see Indiana Jones today actually, so I went to see that. And I don't know. I still like to go to the theater. It's hard to find like films that I like want to go see that maybe even like slightly worth spending the money on. But for Indiana Jones, it was just like it was definitely like my least favorite. You know what I mean? It just kind of that was another movie that like it wasn't the worst thing I ever saw, but it definitely was. It didn't have the unique identity like the other ones where it stood out. And I haven't rewatched Crystal Skull in a while, but like it kind of left me with that kind of like kind of felt empty or hollow. Like it felt like I don't know. And like Harrison Ford's always like sitting down, or he's like like the scenes that he's doing, it's like very minimal. And like I don't know. I just think like I still like going to the theater, but there's a lot of shitty theaters near me, so you kind of have to weed out like the bad ones and go to good ones, and it
Well,
kind of gets
I don't
annoying.
want to get weepy, but I just don't have anyone to go with anymore. I had mentioned my best friend Barry passed away in December, and he was the one that I would go to movies with. And I just don't have anybody anymore to
Farmersmingle.com, Jay.
go through things like that with. So,
I've had some great times going to the movies alone, man. It's like it's kind
well, I
of
don't drive, so
Yeah, there's not a movie theater. Jay's like me. I mean, the closest movie theater away is probably about half an
it's
hour or something,
Waco,
right?
which is about 45 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a drive then.
Well, Planet CHH, though, our buddy Christian says, I think we're finally seeing the general public get completely burnt out altogether on Hollywood. It's been the same old for a while now. I agree with that. What about you guys?
100%.
Yeah, everything kind of blends together, and it just kind of becomes more of a it's just it's like unique films you have to go kind of searching for, or they come out on streaming. It's very fast. It's such a fast industry nowadays, especially with all the streaming services. So I feel like a lot of people would just rather see stuff at home or with their own setup, just download it, whatever they got to do to watch it. But like, I think definitely the last couple of years have been made that more apparent. If people just want to wait, they'll wait like the 3 weeks to a month and then just get it on VOD or rent it or whatever, stream it. And yeah, because then you're at the theater, the person's on their phone the whole time, they're kicking the chair. Like we've all had those like really shitty experiences. There's hair in the popcorn, like AMC stuck over here. Like it's just so like I miss like my old school local multiplex, when I was a kid. And that's gone, and everything just became the same like theater. Everything's the same. It sucks. That's why I like to go, like I go to Mahoning Drive-In because that's about like 2.5 hours away from me. So I'm able to get the PA. So I do like going there because it's like 35 millimeter and it's cool. So I like.
Man, I missed the drive-in. The last movie I saw in a drive-in was in Corsicana, Texas. This would probably be like 1986, 85. And it was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Was the last movie. That's the last movie I saw at a drive-in.
What a film to see there too. That's awesome.
Yeah. But it was at Corsicana, Texas. The last movie I saw proper was on streaming, and I don't know if it was on Amazon or Hulu, but it was Barbarians, which I had never seen. But I sat and watched. I thought, damn, that's not.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a movie.
I liked that one quite a bit actually. It was stupid fun,
Yeah.
I don't go to the movies. Like I'm trying to think. I mean, I go to the movies, but on average in a year, it's like 5 times maybe for me. And I think the last movie I saw in the theater was Beau's Afraid.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a while. But I have a local theater here that's a 1-screen theater. So it's just we'll kind of have a classic style theater. And I like going there whenever I can to not only like support a small locally owned theater, but it's kind of nice to go to a little theater like that that's not an AMC or a Cinemark or something like that.
The old Mahia Theater, I miss that.
Yeah,
you can go to church in it though, still, Jay. At least
it's a Mexican church. The last movie at the show, I mentioned this, was The Golden Child. That's the last movie to show at the Mahia Theater.
The worst thing for me is the Strand Theater is still down the road here. but it's literally like falling apart.
Is it abandoned? Like
It's
it's just
abandoned.
man.
The owners, the city would have bought it for a certain price, but the owners are wanting way, way, way more than it's actually worth. And the building is in like the building's from probably like the 1950s,
Wow.
and
Oh,
it's
wow.
crumbling.
Wow.
Right? The sign and everything, man, is just one fucking thunderstorm, windstorm away from just falling completely down.
Well, that's if someone takes care of it. It's kind of like the old Mahia Theater. I mean, it's still
Right.
doing in good shape, and it was built in the 50s. I think 53, something like that.
But
Maybe, you know.
the building is in such bad condition, it needs it updated. So like if they were to pay, which they're wanting something crazy like $160,000 or something like that for the old building, they would have to put at least another $100,000 back into the building too. And it's just not.
Jeez.
It's a small town, man. I mean, it's not really worth it for them to do, and they would be the only ones that could do it. So it's sad, really, but yeah, that I'm sure they'll eventually just end up, tearing that building completely down if it doesn't fall down itself.
I'm fortunate that I have, let's see, 3 drive-ins within roughly an hour to an hour and a half or less from my house. Plus, I do have a local, like, independent cinema about an hour and a half or 2 hours away in Knoxville, which that theater, I love that theater because they've done some great special events. Like one time I went there, I think actually the first time I went there, I got to see Fabio Frizzi play the music for The Beyond. And it was
So
actually
killer.
like a screening and him like actually playing the music in front of you, which was amazing. That was probably the best time I've had at that theater.
That's the kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like you like to seek stuff out like that too. Like because I'm pretty close to Philly too, so Philly has a lot of cool like screenings like that or theaters. Like you have to like search them out. And I remember I think I found out about Mahoning from like going to like a Herschel Gordon Lewis marathon, and they had like a bunch of these. And it was when he was still alive. He actually passed away
wow.
3 months after that event.
Mhm.
But they had a bunch of papers kind of scattered, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Mahoning Drive-In's playing Cannibal Holocaust. What the fuck? We have to go to this fucking drive-in. And it was when they were like, now they're really big, but that was when they were still kind of getting that momentum. And it was just cool to like go to that and support something like that. And then you find like your little space that like your buddies can go hang out. And like it's an event, like you make it worth it. You go to like these weekends where it's like Camp Blood, or it's, they got Felissa Rose there. They got, now it's like a bigger thing. But yeah, it's cool to find like those spots in the area that kind of switch it up, because when you see like hometown stuff close or like just things that you've been around, like it just sucks. So sometimes you got to look elsewhere to try to find some kind of cool little events like that. And it's worth it.
They're
Oh,
doing VHS Fest, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So that place is like 5 hours from where I live. So I've never been there, but I would definitely like to go there for some kind of. They do have some cool events.
Yeah, camp out too. I mean, the back spot you can camp, and I like camping too. So if you like the outdoors too, like I just like to, set up the tent, have your car, have the speakers, have the camper chairs. Like that's for me, it's like a ritual. So it's been a real cool tradition that me and my friends try to hit up every year. Not sure which one we're gonna hit up this year, but yeah, it's just cool. I like to do it each year on the regular.
I think what works for them too is it's a good central location. A lot of bigger cities can go there, and they can do niche things like the VHS Fest, and they do like, what is it, the Camp Blood thing they do every year, I think,
Yeah.
with a lot of slasher movies and all that. So they do a lot of killer stuff all year round, really.
Yeah,
Ryan,
awesome.
what's the cat's name?
Oh, that one is June. I've got 3 cats. That one's my little hellion. She actually, it was on Friday I was recording for our podcast, and she was laying in my lap being good, and all of a sudden I was talking to my co-host Sean, and he starts to talk, and I hear nothing. I'm like, what the hell? And I look down. She bit the damn cord in half from my earphones. She's naughty as hell, man, but she's so sweet sometimes, though. So
Oh,
she's only 2.
Ryan's a pussy magnet, boss.
I sure am.
The
I got so many.
Is Uncle Bill back finally?
He looks
back
fed
for
up.
now.
B is back.
He's
Look,
back from the dead.
I don't even know if you can hear me. At this point,
Yeah, we can.
I can hear you.
We can hear you
But
and see you.
it just keeps fucking like I come on and it will be about 2 minutes. It'll kick me off. It'll just say like there's a problem, like kick me off the fucking
Well,
internet.
while
So-
you're on here, what kind of what do you want to talk about? Mention something. We'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
hurry. Give us
I-
something to talk
I-
about before you're gone.
and yeah, I've got about a 2 minute countdown here. I don't know. I'm trying. Let's talk about how much Scream Factory sucks real quick. Well,
Well, that's an easy.
2
That's
minutes.
probably
That's
an
an easy
one.
one. Yeah,
Thing,
let's
yeah.
do it.
I
Fan
fucking
favorite.
hate them. What
You're
were
not
we
getting
talking
the
about?
4K of My Bloody Valentine with the heart shaped box or whatever.
Hell no.
No. Listen, I want to tell everybody, don't buy that because here's the thing: if you have that Blu-ray, I have the Blu-ray steelbook of that.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
me
that's
too.
what I have. Is it like I don't even think it's worth it, right?
Listen,
Like,
that Blu-ray looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does.
Really looks so good, even with the cut. It's uncut still, so even the uncut footage in that looks
It's so
great.
clean.
Yeah, and that 4K, if there was any 4K that is unnecessary to upgrade to, it's that one because that Blu-ray looks so good, and I guarantee you, it's going to go down even cheaper in price once the 4K comes out.
and you guys think they're just
Is-
hitting that wall? Like they just keep now they just got to re-release that. Sorry, UB, what were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, you gotta let me get in here, Anthony, because I only got like
Oh,
3
yeah, go ahead.
minutes.
Go ahead.
Before
That's
they
all
cut
you.
the fuck off again.
We'll tag.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like didn't they lose like another contract with like IFC here recently too, like
Yep.
Scream Factory, like, and so I kind of feel like yeah, they're definitely going downhill in one way or another. Like, and
Wait. They lost IFC. I
Yes.
saw Vinegar
Yeah.
Syndrome just did that. Like they have a deal with IFC now.
Yeah, I
yeah,
heard
they
something
lost the
possible
IFC
deal.
titles to Vinegar
Oh.
Syndrome, the OCN distribution thing. But like, yeah, they just all they're doing is re-releasing 4Ks at this point. So there's really no point. And then sometimes they'll do those like where they have 1,500 copies of something, and you have to get it within like a week, or
Yeah.
it'll sell out or whatever. But that's all they're really doing at this point.
Yeah, this
So, I
this
don't know.
this
I'm
steelbook.
glad
is
Creep
great.
Show 3 still hasn't sold out.
It may never. That may be
They
one
haven't,
that stays
they haven't
up.
found 1,500 chumps yet. So
No.
I've been waiting on
Um,
some of those 4Ks to go down in price still. Like I still don't have the carry because that hasn't gone down at all since it came out in price. I don't
I
think.
think that they had it during a sale that was like, I think it was like $17 or $18 when they had like a 4K sale. So that's what I would actually recommend people to do if you're interested in these, because Scream Factory, they are doing a couple more sales and they're actually halfway decent now. But for me, man, like a lot of these movies, like, fuck. I mean, I'm fine keeping the DVD for some of these damn movies. Like Night of the Comet, like I like that movie and everything, but I never want to rewatch it. Like, I mean, really, like who in the fuck needs a 4K of that?
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
like
much
if the
all
DVD's
of them.
good
That's
enough.
how
Yeah.
yeah, I feel about all those titles.
Yeah, and then Creep Show evidently looks great and everything, and I love Creep Show, but I mean, it's just like they put so little effort into those releases. I just
And
don't
that's
care.
the question though. Really, is like, how much money do you want to spend on something that's going to be exactly the same as the Blu-ray, and sometimes just be like just a fraction better picture quality? I mean, if you want
That's-
to drop that,
That's the same thing I was looking at with My Bloody Valentine. Like there's no new features. Everything's ported over. I think it's got like a Dolby Vision Master, but like, am I really going to pay all that money just for that? No, I'm good.
Well, and that's why I tell people too, because there's a few Screen Factory releases, and there's one big one that people could make some money on. And Garrett, we kind of talked him into it. He finally sold his for like $220.
Holy shit.
I know what that is.
And that is Manhunter.
Yeah,
wow.
Because that one, I guarantee you,
Mhm.
somebody, even if it's not Screen Factory, somebody is releasing that in 4K sooner than later. And when that thing is announced,
Oh yeah,
your money making days on that Blu-ray are over.
that Blu-ray has been
Yeah.
worth a lot of money for years now.
Hell, even the soundtrack on vinyl's going for stupid money.
Yeah, I really hope that every time Waxwork posts on that Facebook group of theirs that they have, the Fang Gang group or whatever it is. I'm always commenting like, when is Manhunter going to be reissued? Because they reissue all these other soundtracks from time to time, but that one, for whatever reason, they have yet to do another reprint of it.
It's probably expensive. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I
Michael
guess.
Mann. He's not a
Shit. These comments.
so. But
I
honestly,
don't know.
though,
I'm probably like a mile behind on because my comments are
ahead.
like loading super slow on here too.
no, you're fine.
But-
try it out. What you got?
Okay, so a couple on the comment section over here though, because I'm just seeing some of these. I'm sure like I'm behind on them. Couple things. Number one, I didn't download a virus. There's no virus. It's just this fucking thing is like super old and running out of like data. They don't.
And it's a
virus to
Chromebook.
it.
It's a Chromebook.
You downloaded
Number-
a toolbar.
Number yeah.
Oh no!
There it goes. Oh,
They lynched
Number
him.
2, exactly.
you know what the internet basically or that Chromebook said to him?
What's that?
Fuck you.
That's what that Chromebook said to him.
That was classic.
He said, it's not a
Talk shit
virus.
about
And
me? Well,
Oh gosh.
man.
This is like a random talking about like 4Ks and stuff. Had anybody heard about? I saw I think it was Diabolic. I think no, sorry, Dawn of the Discs.
Mhm.
Did they not post about somebody in releasing a 4K of Angel?
No,
Like
I
a
didn't
while
hear
ago?
about that.
It's
see it.
been a couple of months now, but it's a foreign. It might not have been Dawn of the Discs, but I saw one post that was talking about. It was either the first movie or all three being released on 4K, and I actually just rewatched the first Angel today, and I love that movie. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it or are a fan.
Yeah.
Classic. This is that.
Well, that's another one that's kind of pricey right now too, right? So if that's
it,
true,
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think the standard editions are on their site still, so
Yeah.
I think you can still get just like the regular case version for like cheap. But I love all three of these movies. I don't know if I'd get the 4K. I mean, this looks really good from Vinegar Syndrome, but
it goes back to the same topic of like whether or not it's worth, if you already have it, to just because then it's like, because it goes back to the space thing. It's like, a lot of us like, or especially me, I could be guilty of this too, where like I have the second copy of something and then I just don't get rid of it, or I just don't sell it because I'm lazy, or like I can't, like, I don't feel like I can get rid of the other. Like, it's like I don't need a Blu-ray and a 4K of the same thing, but it's hard to like, especially when sometimes the features don't get ported over or it's different, but like when it's exactly the same, I feel like we fall into that, like where sometimes we're like, damn, like it's not that big of a change of the transfer. And then it's also like, man, now I have two of these things, or three or four, depending on if it's like, from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, or if there's like been 4 Blu-rays and now 4K all of a sudden. It's like, man, like a lot of this stuff just gets tiring.
yeah.
yeah. But all right, guys, we got 140 people checking us out live right now, so it's a good time to let everybody know that Into the Pit, the shocking story of deadpit.com, is back in stock at grindhousevideo.com exclusively right now. Unless you're a member on Patreon, you get it at like a wholesale price on there. But Grindhouse, there you go. Jay's got his copy. And they're still in stock. So they stocked up with more, but it'd be really cool to sell it out again tonight. And grindhousevideo.com and check it out. We got plenty of copies to sell, so let's try to sell them, boys.
You can enjoy some revisionist history.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we were thinking about doing, and we still might. I got to ask for permission. For like a April Fool's joke or something, like a reverse cover for Uncle Bill Goes to College. Is the reverse. Like, it was kind of an idea that I had, but I don't know.
That'd be
I don't know
awesome.
what you guys think.
Or a exclusive slip. So
I've
for
looked
like
into the
$5.
slips. I have, actually. There you go. Matt's got
Yep.
his.
Hey, guess what? That one's signed, buddy.
Oh, shit. That was back when Uncle Bill used to not have any issues doing these streams. Now he's completely given up.
Man.
He says, "God damn it, I'm just giving up." So,
Oh, man.
yeah, Prime Day's coming up. What is it, tomorrow? And
Is
or
it
is it sometime this week coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow and Tuesday.
Prime Days.
It's
So,
the 11th.
Oh yeah.
So what are you buying? And let's for a second talk about something besides 4Ks because I don't
Yeah.
have a 4K player. I don't buy 4Ks. Anything? Is there anything
Sure.
else that you're going to buy from Prime Day besides Blu-rays or 4K?
You know, I don't think they even do do movies really go on sale for Prime Day?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes.
There's
Okay.
a certain like select few that do go on sale. Yeah.
Because I don't even know what to get. I mean, I you know, the last Prime Day, I got a 10-inch Kindle Fire. I've got an 8-inch and 10-inch, which I sounds almost sexual talking like that. But anyway, I would wish 10-inch. But anyway, I got the Kindle Fire and I got.
well, 10-inch is the new 6-inch, Jay.
Oh,
You
is
gotta
it?
go even bigger than that now,
Oh.
So
Well, anyway, I just wonder what you guys are. What's
speaking of inches, though,
Goodbye.
right? So
Segway.
TVs, I'm sure they'll have a lot of TVs on sale.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
And I'm seeing I go in Walmart all the time. Unfortunately, I have no choice because there's nowhere else to shop here in Eastern Kentucky. And the TVs are getting cheaper and cheaper, man. Like 65-inch TVs for under $500.
Mhm.
What in the hell are they making these TVs out of?
At Walmart, you never know. You just never
I'm
know.
like,
It's
freaking
probably
like
that.
$400 and some for a 65-inch TV.
It's probably that On brand.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like that
man.
Walmart
Well,
brand.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
Vizio.
have Samsung and
Element
stuff
and
too,
shit.
though.
Yeah, no, they
Well, I
they
got-
sell some Samsung, yeah.
I mean, and because of the room I have, I got a 55-inch Philips last year, and it was $298, just a little over 300 with tax.
I bet.
There
And
you
it's a
go, man.
4K and all that good stuff, smart TV and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, man, I got a TCL, which was my previous television. And that one was like $400. And it's a 55-inch. And yeah, it was great. It still works. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I upgraded to an OLED this year. And yeah, but that TCL brand, like, I never had any problems with it. And that's like a budget brand TV.
Is that kind of like the new Vizio or something, or what?
No.
Sort of. I mean, it had Roku built into the
Yeah.
interface, so I don't know. Like, if anybody's looking for like a budget TV or you're on a
You
budget for 4K, definitely.
You remember Emerson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still
Yeah.
have Emerson?
I don't think they make 4K. I don't think they ever made it to 4K. I think they stopped after 1080, I think. Because there was 720, 1080, and then some just didn't do 4K. But yeah, some of them are Fire TVs, Roku TVs. I have a Sony, and that has that Google interface, which is nice.
Oh yeah.
So I got mine like 6 years ago, but I look at TVs as like, depending on where you get them, you just have to be careful because they do have holiday models, which is ones they usually put out on the floor that are made cheaper on purpose. And then they have ones that are like a little bit more entry level that you can find that are a little bit more expensive, but like it's worth it. But I know it's hard if you don't have like a Best Buy or something around. Like, at least over here we have like a lot of Best Buys, at least for now. But at least you can actually like see these TVs like working.
Is there anywhere worse than Best Buy to buy TV? Like, they're fucking like unbelievably expensive at Best Buy.
Yeah, they get the top tier stuff, like they'll get like the top of the line models from Samsung, Sony, and LG, and then they'll have the models that usually like a Walmart or a BJ's or Sam's Club would sell. So it's like, I feel like Best Buy, you might not need their top of the line. They have a lot of their selection from those three brands, and then they have the Toshibas and the Vizios and stuff out in the middle. But like, yeah, when I worked there, it was always just like, they would always just pump the shit out of the Samsung, Sony, LGs, and all the models and all the, like, there was like so many. You probably don't need that many models anymore, but like that's just the way it was. It's crazy to see the differences in some of the cheaper
Well,
made ones versus
You,
the
you mentioned
know.
Fire TV. Do you know anything about those? Because I see those on Amazon. Some of them are really, really inexpensive. You know.
Yes, yes. So those are so you'll see that definitely on Amazon because of the Android Fire TV interface. So it pretty much just has all your apps built in there, and a lot of times the stuff on Amazon will by default have that built in because pretty much every TV is a smart TV at this point. Everything's streaming, so they probably have it on their 4Ks at this point, like all the Fire TV, and Roku's the other one that you mentioned the TCL has. So yeah, it's just like the interface, and then Samsung and Sony and LG have different interfaces than the Fire Sticks and the Roku. It's a little bit different. So
A lot of it comes down to what kind of TV it is as well. Like the LEDs are usually going to be cheaper no matter what size.
mhm,
I've noticed that as well. Like they
right.
could be 65, 70 inch, but they'll probably be like, I don't know, $500,
I
600.
know what I was thinking about doing because I've been using like it's a TV that came with my computer years and years ago. It's a little Samsung TV. Getting like and mounting it to the wall, getting like a 50-inch fucking flat screen TV and using that as a monitor. They're so damn cheap now.
Mhm.
Why not? I'm thinking about doing that maybe.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times over the years.
Yeah, especially like like you said, because the prices are going down with a lot of them, and I think also like I think there's a lot of even with like the monitors now, like a lot of them are going down too. Like I know there's 4K monitors that are expensive, but you don't even have to get a 4K monitor, and like you could still get But again, when you want to go past that certain size, that's where getting a TV for the monitor is like the best bet because a lot of times the monitors that are past a certain point are just like really pricey, and you're like, I could just get a TV that's a lot cheaper than what they're asking for like a OLED monitor or like just a curved monitor. It's like you don't really need that if you could just get like you said, a TV that can fit your wall and just use it as a monitor. Fuck it,
Yeah. Some of
Yeah.
those monitors, man, are crazy expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, they get a little out there, especially because of the gaming stuff and the
Mhm.
editing stuff. Like that's when it becomes a lot more. They have a market for that, but again, it's like you can also get some really good TVs that have really good color, really good stuff that you can use for on the computer and stuff. So
You just have to watch refresh rate if you care about that.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Like me, like I want 120, or higher on a monitor. Like on my TV, I have 120 hertz on there, but then on my monitor, it's like 144. Like it's just little differences like that. If you're gaming, like it
I'm
matters.
guessing
but-
you have a 2K monitor.
yeah, it's like the Asus or Asus, however you pronounce it. Yeah,
That's what I have.
yeah, and it's nice, you know what I mean. But yeah, like I think for the TV, I always like Sony, Samsung, LG. Those are always solid brands. Like I want to get an LG OLED down the road, but right now I'm good with my Sony. But the OLEDs are nice; they are really nice.
Yeah, that's what I have. I was telling Matt when he got his, he's got to watch everything again.
Yeah.
Because it's like
I do,
it's
yeah.
a whole nother experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that looks
crazy
incredible.
for sure. But if you
Well,
like movies as much as we do,
The main TV that I've got, we have had for probably, it's a Samsung. We got it at like a big box furniture store.
Mm.
It was like $2,700 when we got it. This 70-inch LED from probably 8 years ago, and it still works. 4K. So I'm kind of I don't want it to tear up really because I don't want to have to pay for another TV. But at the same time, it's like so out of date that I kind of like want a new TV. So I'm kind of in that spot. But it's been a good TV. Samsung is.
Oh
we've
yeah,
never had an issue with any of their stuff.
they're always solid, because they did the 4K, then they had, all the TVs did 4K with HDR, and now it's like 4K HDR10, and now it's like it's always like, it's so crazy that that's like the normal thing. When you first saw them coming out, it was just like, all right, UHD, what's that? And then now it's like this whole thing, and obviously Samsung has 8K TVs now, but like
Mhm.
that's kind of like their gimmick now is 8K, but it's nothing's really truly an 8K at this point. Like that's being like sold unless it's like like something shot with like a crazy 8K
There's
camera.
some stuff
but-
on YouTube or something.
yeah,
Mhm.
like nature stuff. But like, man, like Samsung does have that thing where like they have their 4Ks now. They're just like advertising this 8K stuff. That's all you see when you go to like a Best Buy now. I'm like, damn, I haven't worked there in a few years now, but like just seeing how much they kind of change with like what they're pushing now. It's like it's very interesting. Even when you buy a PS5, it says supports up to 8K. It's like no, not really. Like it's doing 4K.
There's no game in 8K,
Yeah, there's
so
no-
it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
It's just like they just post
What
it on
will
the
be in
box,
8K? Like in 3 or 4 years, do you think? Like, are they going to start broadcasting like sports and stuff? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do in certain aspects in
I don't
8K.
know.
WWE uses a 4K camera occasionally, but not
Yeah.
all the time.
Like
They
we're
mu-
just getting a 4K like streaming
Mhm.
plans on like YouTube TV and stuff. Like we just got there, you know, a couple years ago maybe. So like, and obviously Netflix has their 4K plan, but like for TV and stuff or channels, yeah, it's like we just got the 4K broadcasting. So I don't know, maybe in 5-6 years we'll see that shift again, and then we'll see all these, you know, companies re-release stuff, you know, again, because it seems to kind of go in that wave.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing it. I say that now, but I really don't think I'm doing that. I mean, come on now. I mean,
I know.
we're talking about the incremental difference between some of these Blu-rays and the 4Ks. How are you going to convince me that 8K is going to be better than my 4K?
Right. Especially when people are still at like, you know, like even Jay, like still like just waiting to get a 4K. Like it's like,
Yeah.
you know, some of the stuff, it doesn't really matter that much to everybody. And then when they see the stuff kind of happen and every TV just becomes a smart 4K TV that kind of boxes someone in of like, all right, well now I'm on a 4K, but then it's just like, I don't know. It just seems like it takes a little bit to catch on. But now with everybody kind of going and streaming and watching stuff at home anyway, yeah, maybe it's time to hunker down, get a good TV, and then just be like, all right, I'm good. I got everything here. You know, if you don't really like going to the theater, you know, which I feel like all of us kind of, it's hard to like, you know, pick something that is really worth going to see. So yeah, it's like maybe just focus on getting a nice home setup, or if you already have one, then you're set. Then it's like it's all good. And
I
enjoy the
almost
movies
feel
at
like
home.
though the 4K thing, especially, you know, online, and really, I mean, in stores, like I don't know if it's the same way for you guys, but it seems like 4K is really more of a, you know, collector's format. If you're hardcore movie fan or cult movies, there's a lot of cult movies that are coming out in 4K, but a lot of mainstream, you know, the audiences aren't really, I don't think that they're into the 4K like it wasn't the huge success the Blu-ray was from the DVD.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I still know people that aren't even into like they don't. Granted, they're not like movie fans in general, but some people are like they don't even have a Blu-ray player or anything. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, so it still has its niche little market for people like us, but we're the ones keeping them afloat.
Donations for poor old Uncle Bill, a $9 super chat from Real Fright. So, and I don't know how cheap the laptops are going to be on Prime Day. I don't know if they'll be that cheap, but that's a good start right there, brother.
I mean, I
Appreciate
would say Chrome. Yeah, anything is better than a Chromebook in terms of like
From 8 years ago.
yeah, because yeah, because computers, yeah, are definitely something you like to. It's like a TV. When you get it, you want to have it for a few years. You don't want to replace it in 2 years. You know.
Yeah, you want at least what? Anthony and Mark probably know more about this. At least 16 gigabyte of RAM, wouldn't you say? At least.
If you're gaming, yeah. And
Yeah.
editing. Yeah.
I've got 32 gigs of RAM in mine.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's the thing too. It just depends on like, you know, I feel like for the streams and stuff like that, for him, especially if he's doing it more often, I think the Chromebook probably just started to when you guys started to do more shows, it was probably like, hold on, what's going on in this Chromebook? Like the Chromebook was just like probably caving in on itself. So the thing is like if you get something that's just like, you know, I mean, I like Windows stuff. Like I know people like, you know,
Yeah.
Mac and all that stuff, but I mean, I like Windows, and you could usually find some pretty good deal. I don't know if Prime Day will be a good spot to look. I haven't seen them yet, but like I haven't seen the deals, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, cheapest route, honestly, is just like get yourself like one that's got like a decent, you know, CPU and stuff. And I mean, you can add the RAM. RAM is not
Mhm.
too expensive.
Are you
Right.
kidding, buddy? Who the fuck you think you're talking to? This is Uncle Bill.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's super easy. Even dumb old me can do it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, he's getting he would like to get a laptop. So that's the thing too with laptops. I feel like
laptops are.
it depends because some people like
Yeah, he's
I
for
like
sure
desktops.
getting a laptop.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's got to be set with a nice amount of stuff already set up inside.
I'm not a fan of laptops. It's just I've had so many of them, and it's just like once they get so old, I mean, you can't hardly do anything to them anyway. Too, it's like
Right. Yeah. That's why I just like it depends on the like I know HP makes some pretty good laptops, you know.
Well, that's what I'm talking here on is an HP laptop. And the reason why I got it to begin with was I was working on one of my short films a few years ago, and I wanted to be able to look at the footage on the set, so to speak, so I
Right,
could
and that's understandable.
record in and watch it so I can make sure everything's in focus because everything to me is out of focus anyway all the time because I'm
Yeah.
blind. So, but I had to, to look and see it on a bigger screen. And so that's why I got a laptop. And I was like, oh, well, I can do other shit too. I can like talk to you guys and whatever.
Oh
you know.
yeah.
But it's pretty good. I mean, it's I don't know, 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's pretty good. Hewlett Packard,
Oh yeah.
It was about
Yeah,
$500, I think.
Anything HP, Dell,
You're
just
good.
as long as Uncle Bill gets one with some good,
Anything will be
Memory.
an improvement over what
Yeah,
he's
it's
got.
got-
Yeah.
just
Right.
make sure it's got enough like memory, and stuff in it, and he'll be set for a while. I mean,
Oh yeah.
years, like at least.
I don't. Well, I mean, as long as he's not, I hope he's not doing this with little kids in the house looking on those adult sites like he used to. 'Cause
That's exactly what probably happened. That's how his CPU got fried.
that'll screw you up quicker than anything, Uncle Bill. You got to just be. This is like a work computer. You got to look at it like that.
Just
You
get yourself a
can't-
VPN,
Yeah.
go incognito. You're all right.
You can't download
They don't
LimeWire on
wanna
it.
do
You know?
that.
Come on.
I
Gosh,
I got
just
an
a
old
digital
beat. I
penis.
got an old beat up Kindle Fire, the old 8-inch, and this is my dirty movie Kindle Fire. So
Oh, man.
if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that on this old Kindle Fire.
Hey, it's probably gonna also be on sale, so maybe Uncle
It
Bill can
doesn't.
get
It
one of
doesn't
them.
get viruses, and it has something called what is it called the private tab or something like that that erases the memory when you're done. So,
Incognito.
and you
There
can
you
see
go.
the old beat
Yeah.
up cover and everything, and then this is my illicit.
All right, Jay. Without going into detail on what kind you watch,
Well, they
is there a particular starlet that you look up?
Well, I forget her name.
We all
No,
do,
you
Jay.
don't. Come
Yeah,
on.
we all do.
There was a movie back in the VHS day, back in the old, with the beaded curtain that you would go in the back room, and it was Devil and Miss Jones Part 2. And who
Looking
was
it
the
up right now.
who was the main actress in that? Oh my God! And so I would rent it. And
What
it-
year? What year was that?
Oh
What are you
God, this
thinking?
would be
82.
yeah, the late 70s,
82.
early 80s. And I mean, it's actually an actual movie shot on 35, millimeter, and it's got
Vinegar Syndrome
makeup.
probably has a 4K of
There's
it.
people dressed
Yeah.
up like dicks, and there's a Cyrano de Bergerac that's got a dick for a nose, and
Oh man.
and the devil
Robert
shoots, out,
Kerman
shoots
from Cannibal
fire out of his
Holocaust.
dong.
Oh
Of
shit!
course.
But anyway, I would rent Devil and Miss Jones Part 2 and watch it with my friend Barry, and we would laugh at it. And then when Barry was away, I would watch it again and perform certain duties because of this one actress.
Is the
that-
case sticky, Jay?
Oh my God!
There's that.
Well, I had to wipe the case down good. So
Side hustle. He wouldn't want to see the tablet under a black.
And I wish I could remember that actress's name, but oh my God, she
Is it he didn't know it was a glow in the dark tablet.
yeah, definitely one Part 2. Oh, that one, and there was a parody of 9 to 5 called 8 to 4, and there was a lady at the end of that one that I found very attractive. So, anyway, I'm sorry to deviate on this.
No, that's great shit, man. Suspiria Night says, I can't believe I just saw Jay's spank device.
I didn't say that. I didn't say what I did. I just, I said,
You just like to view him. Yeah, just watch.
watched it with him and laughed and giggled at the funny stuff, and then watched it again, and
Oh, thank God I'm not drinking
Had a
more
different
coffee right now.
experience.
I'll be spewing it out my nose.
Anyway, that VHS got a lot of good use back in the day. Devil and
Got-
Miss Jones Part 2.
Got
two.
Jacqueline Lorians, Joanna Storm, and Anna Ventura.
Ooh, Anna Ventura.
Oh, is
Or
that from Devil and Miss Jones?
Yeah, Georgina Spelvin.
I remember the first adult movie that I ever saw. This is so hilarious because I had to have been 13, 14 years old. Believe it or not, it was not as easy. Like now, I'm sure kids that are 7 or 8 years old can go on Twitter and just type in something and see whatever they want to. Back then, it wasn't easy, but this was pretty easy because I didn't even really try. It was just given to me. I rented, I think it was one of the, it may have been the last Police Academy movie, the Mission to Moscow. And they gave me a movie called Oh My Gosh. I'm not going to tell you what it was about or anything, but I was just amazed. I didn't know. I was like, what in the hell?
Well,
I was
I've
amazed
said
at what
this
I saw.
before, that my first adult film was Sex World, which was a parody of Future World and Westworld. It was you
Vinegar
went
Syndrome put
you
that
went
one
to
I was
you
about
went
to ask. I thought Vinegar Syndrome put that.
but I
They
was just
did.
about
Yeah,
to say
that's out.
Vinegar Syndrome put that out. So
Oh Lord.
I may have to pick that up for Vinegar Syndrome, but that was my first adult film.
That'll be your first
Well,
4K, Joe.
I was gonna say that'll be the 4K scan.
maybe
that go-
my first 4K.
Yeah, they'll be on their separate website, in the future.
Probably my first 4K will be Jaws. And
Peekaboo.com.
then I'll get Sex World.
Yeah, they are. Vinegar Syndrome they're not selling any Peekaboo titles on their site anymore. Now they have a dedicated website that's coming out for all of their X-rated films.
They don't want to put
Wow.
those on sale, is what it is. They want to make you pay.
Well, that subscriber money is opening up another site.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
There goes Mark.
We lost Mark.
Uh-oh.
He might have to get a new computer too. But anybody else got anything that you wanted to bring up on here tonight? It's been a fun conversation for sure. Always is.
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Because I know you guys kind of talked about the movie situation currently or Hollywood, but in terms of like the sales like that you guys got, like was there anything that you guys are like, really looking forward to getting to come in as far as like everything on? I mean, I heard you guys kind of talk a little bit on some of the live streams, but
one for me that it's a bad movie, but at the same time, I've never really seen it remastered or cleaned up or anything. And that's like the early 80s slasher Terror at 10 Killer, which Vinegar Syndrome is releasing in 4K. And that's one that I actually pre-ordered, which I don't do very often.
Wow.
So that's one that I'm kind of curious about, because there have been in the past movies that have just had that crappy VHS transfer, and that I was like, whatever. You can't really even see what's going on in a lot of it. And then a company remasters it, and you see it's almost like seeing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of interested in checking that one out.
I don't know. Like I'm excited for some of those 4Ks from Vinegar Syndrome. I think that was like the best day for sure. Like we said earlier, I didn't get anything from Severin this time around because I just couldn't justify the pricing on that stuff. But I did pick up this Blu-ray because I had actually been meaning to see this, and then you guys did the review, the Patreon review for Welcome to the Dollhouse. So that one, I've been meaning to check this out for a long time, and then it was actually on sale at Diabolic. So I grabbed that.
That is an interesting movie. I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it before or anything until we did the review. And I had fun with it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, weird movie apparently. So I'm into that stuff. But I didn't really pick up anything too wild over the last couple of sales. I mean, the big one, I'm kind of looking forward to the Kino sale coming up here in probably another 2 weeks maybe.
Well, there's Criterion sale. Is that already started? Or
Yeah, it's all month long. You can go on Barnes and Noble or Amazon, because a lot of them are on sale on Amazon as well.
Big recommendation for me, and I know that we freaking hopped the hell out of this movie up, but you could probably get it at a pretty good price. Is Criterion did a Blu-ray of The Innocents from 1961, I think, and that's supposed to be a really killer transfer and everything on that. And that movie is severely underrated, I think.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that should be about $20. So
that's one that I would definitely. I mean, I'm not getting it yet, just because I'm sure the 4K will be coming at some point, because Criterion does that a lot too. Criterion, really, honestly, like, I know we pick on Scream Factory a lot, but they're not the only ones that do it. Criterion does it. Arrow does it a lot as well. Just, Last Starfighter was one that they did a Blu-ray of not even 2 years ago, and they released an exact version of the 4K and the same artwork and everything, same features and all that. So, there's a lot of companies doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, like I don't want to even get. I mean, the Night of the Living Dead Criterion, like I have the Blu-ray, and then the 4K came out, and I'm just like, I feel like I just bought this thing like last year, or it was like 2 years ago, and it's so good. And it's like the best transfer ever for that film. But like, man, I cannot justify spending, that money on that 4K again. So that's one where it's like, it's one of my favorite films ever, but it's just, it looks fine. The way that Criterion, the Blu-ray looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Jason Naylor was bringing up the Empire of Scream set. Did all you guys get that one?
I did.
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's sold out now. The box set is. So I don't know if Arrow is doing the individual releases, which I'm sure probably. That's usually how they do it. So I'm not a big Empire Pictures guy anyway, but man, that set was like very affordable, and the transfers on all those looked amazing. And if you're a fan of those, like, yeah, it's kind of a, no questions asked. You're going to like Arrow's doing the 4K set of Psycho, 1 through 4 for like $65 or something. Too,
I'm definitely going to get that. Yeah.
That's insane. Like, price for that. But it's only in the UK technically, so you'll have to pay a little bit more for it, I'm sure.
I think Diabolic DVD, you can actually pre-order that, I'm pretty sure, from Diabolic.
Okay,
I
that's
think
probably
you can
well. I'll probably get it from them.
From Orbit and Grindhouse as well, because I was just looking on their website today.
Orbit ships stuff faster than Diabolic, I think.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So if you want it faster or whatever, they're gonna, like, if they get it that day, it'll go out the same day.
Oh, cool.
You pre-order it.
That's good to know.
Welcome back, Mark. Did you go take care of some business and then come back?
I'm catching Uncle Bill's bad luck. I don't know what happened. Like, my internet went out, my PC restarted. I was like, what the hell?
Ooh.
You got the virus.
Someone's
that
listening
spread
to the
him.
stream that doesn't want us talking.
Yeah, 42nd Street Pete ball strikes again, possibly. I don't know. That's an old school reference there.
Oh no.
I don't know why I thought of that, but yeah. But yeah, guys, it's been a fun time. Now, we try to keep these about 2 hours, but if there's anything else, like anybody in the chat has anything, just let us know. But a lot of you guys have your own channels and everything too, and podcasts and everything. And I know, Jay is working on finishing up his, I don't know how many different, what's the number on this movie, Jay? How many movies have you done total?
Let's see. This will be the fourth one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
fourth film coming out from Jay Real.
And then
Crystal, and it's almost
speaking of Ryan's cat, we got a cameo. The guy that plays the father in the movie, Bruce, and he has 3 cats, and we got his cat Gigi.
Nice.
Got Gigi in there.
there you go.
Got
So
Gigi
Ryan
in
is for
there.
sure going to watch it now, Jay.
I
You
will,
talked him into it.
absolutely. You just gotta have some pussy in there. I'm all in, man.
Crystal, did you, Wes? I sent you the what was it? The teaser trailer. Did you see that?
I think so. I've seen a couple of different teasers.
It's like 55 seconds. It's like, it's a, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been out of it over the last week or so, and we're going to talk about that on the
I put it
midweek
on the Dead Pit
podcast coming
site.
up. It was
I can do that again. But
it was a shitty couple of days for me, Jay. That's all I'm going to say. But
No pun
Yeah,
intended.
I'll check it out for sure though. This
Well, if you
week.
look at the old uh, messenger messages I've sent you, I've sent it a couple of messages back. I sent you the link to that.
But any other guys got anything coming up you wanted to mention on here or podcast stuff, anything like that?
Well, I've got a recording coming up actually soon. We're doing a look back on the Devil's Rejects later this month. That'll be coming out. That was Sean's pick because we rotate back and forth. Like 1 month he gets a pick, I get a pick. Next time we're probably going to be doing Zombie, one of my personal favorites. So that'll be a fun one to talk about. And Wes, I've been trying to get you on, but it's all good, man. Some point soon.
At some time, we'll get this all lined out and get to talk about some poor turtle losing its head back in the day.
Yeah, wait. What's the deal with the Cannibal Holocaust?
Commentary, yes, we need to know.
Well, that's for sure happening sometime, I think, this month.
Cool.
Because we don't have a whole lot scheduled with Garrett because he's doing everybody else's.
In Cannibal Holocaust, everyone always brings up the turtle. It was the poor muskrat that got to me the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That poor
Because
thing,
the poor thing is screaming and squirming, and that one, the turtle was bad, but the muskrat was the worst.
I think the part about the turtle though that everybody just goes ugh about is the fact Wes does the best impression of it is the way it acts. I think that's why that's engraved in a lot of people's minds is just the whole where it just keeps flopping its little arms around. Whereas the muskrat just sits there and screams and then but still,
was
both
the
of
one
them
that
are
got to me.
awful.
And I don't really recall. I've probably seen some of the documentaries on it, but did any of the cast really talk about that scene or anything? I mean, even back then, you would think that would be a very traumatizing thing to direct somebody to do and actually have these people do it. I mean,
I just remember Diodato saying he regretted doing all those.
Mhm.
But as far as the cast goes, I've never heard them say anything about it.
I think Carl York came out recently in that what was that thing on Shudder? What was it? Cursed Films or whatever, Part 2. He talked about a lot of his experience on Cannibal Holocaust and how they would, for example, kill the turtle and they actually ate some of it and all this other stuff and just oof.
That's one thing I've never tried, or I don't think I would ever try. It's a cooked turtle or any sort of turtle in any way. Turtle with mustard mayonnaise on it. No.
Well, I don't want to bring anybody. I don't want to bring you guys down, but probably the worst thing I saw as a kid is my dad. Had that little marina down the road here. Had a little lakeside marina that he ran. And they had a cage full of rabbits. I mean, the cutest little rabbits. And there was this place there that Dad would clean like catfish and stuff, grabbing a rabbit by the scruff of the neck and banging its head on this table, knocking the rabbit out, splitting it open with a knife and gutting the rabbit. And I watched this. I must have been like 6 of them, one after the other, gutting these rabbits and killing these rabbits.
He's hardcore, man.
That's ingrained in my brain, and I must have been 7 years old watching my dad and this other guy slaughter rabbits.
That reminds me of my poor grandfather, God rest his soul. Growing up in West Virginia, they were poor. And,
Tom Atkins' son?
No. But anyway, he would go to school and stuff, and they would raise pigs and whatnot. And one day there was this pig that would always get close to him and he would pet it and it would actually follow him towards where the bus would be. And he'd shoot away and whatnot and it would go back to the house. Well, he came home from school one day and the poor pig wasn't in its pen. And sure enough, they're eating pork chops for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. And my grandfather could not eat pork for the longest time because it made him sick to stomach because that pig was kind of like his pet in a way.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, back then,
It wasn't a
You
it wasn't
ha-
a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
exactly. It's just part of, growing up, especially like in Appalachia or in the South,
Well, if you live in a farm, I mean, it's still that way. I'm sure if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like a farm kid or something, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's tons of farms around here and stuff, and I'll never forget. I had an ex of mine who, her dad raised cattle and stuff, and one time, there was this calf that they had for over like a year or two, and they named it Beef Jerky. That was the poor cow's name. And I'll never forget, like, one day they said, well, it's about time we take old Beef Jerky out to pasture. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, then a week or two later, I'm over at their house having dinner with them, and they served me a steak.
Bon
And
appetit.
it was really fresh.
Yeah, it was still mooing at me a little bit. But
What about the Side Hustle Cinnamon here said that that nobody brings up the snake, the black snake that was killed
Yeah.
on Friday the 13th. The people just
Oh, yeah.
don't give a shit about poor little snakes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, then you
They-
got
I hate snakes, so
That's the
Yeah,
kind of
with
snakes
all
we
of
get
them.
in Jersey too. Like we get like those kind of snakes, or like garden snakes. Like we don't get like, because we're like, I'm out in the middle of the Pine Barren, so it's just like middle of the woods. So you get weird shit like that. We don't have any bears, but that's maybe more like North Jersey, but they're around. So
But
random shit around here.
speaking of my father's marina that I grew up at, this old marina, the campgrounds and all that, and by the lakeside during the late evenings, close to sunset, we had these snakes called water moccasins, and they're
Oh.
poisonous.
oh yeah,
And they're poisonous as hell. And my dad would have to go along the shore. He'd go and he'd have a baseball bat in one hand and a garden hoe in the other. And he would find them, and they would congregate in like weeds there along the shore. Dad would smash them with that bat, sling them out onto the shore, and they'd be squirming, and he'd lop their heads off with that garden hoe, and then they'd be all tangled up. And sometimes he would kill like a dozen of them damn things, oh my God, water moccasins, and some of them would just get huge, just
Yeah.
big.
Reason to never go swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's where I learned to swim. Is that lake?
that and amoebas,
The
flesh-eating amoebas.
But guys, it's been a fun time on here. It's always good doing these roundtables. We're going to try to start back doing them every month. And this is the 19th live stream roundtable, by the way. If you guys didn't miss it earlier, I went back.
Well, we got to do something. You have to do something ceremonial for the 20th one.
Yeah, maybe try to get somebody special on here. Any recommendations in the chat or anything that's somebody that hasn't done one of these? Maybe we could talk Slippy into coming on. Or
I was
somebody
about
like
to
that.
say I'd love to get Slippy on one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a good one for sure. So we'll think on that. We'll brainstorm a little bit on that. Some stuff though that we've got coming up. Just want to mention some Patreon requests for this month. There is a Jaws fan commentary. It's probably coming the next week or so. I know Jay is definitely wanting to be a part of that. We also had a request for a movie we've never reviewed, and I think Uncle Bill's a big fan of this movie. I've never seen this movie, but it's got a big cult fan base. Boogie Nights from like what year was this? 97,
97. Yeah.
Okay.
I love Boogie Nights.
Yeah, me too.
So that'll be an interesting one. And then the Cannibal Holocaust commentary. I think we're doing some watch alongs for some independent movies too. So there's always a bunch of shit to talk about on these shows and everything. And I think we're doing, if I'm not mistaken, the next big show that we're all doing together. We don't have a date on it or anything with Garrett, is the complete history of Vestron Video year 2. And I think Felcher is supposed to join us for
Oh,
that
nice.
one too.
Nice.
So that'll be a fun one for sure. And Felcher loves to talk about each one of these movies and everything. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of these releases were from when we weren't doing the show or anything too. So it'll be fun to kind of go back and pick his brain about the features and all that, because he did it all on those.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
But that is it, guys. We appreciate everybody tuning in, you guys joining us and everything. And Uncle Bill, like I said, the Venmo at Dead Pits. Send your donations. Prime Day is coming up. We want to get Uncle Bill at least a better computer than what he's got right now. So that shouldn't be too expensive, right?
Depending on which one he gets.
Give him an Alienware. There you go.
Uh-oh. Uncle Bill is saying do not sign off yet.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, so
He's going to
Oh,
come
man.
back on.
He's
with, like,
coming back.
he might plead one more time.
stick around for him.
That's so
I-
killer.
I don't know, boys. I don't know what he's doing. He says he wants to see if this works for future shit.
Uh-oh.
Is he using his phone?
Oh,
Maybe.
That's
man.
what I was thinking.
maybe.
R.I.P. Chromebook.
Yeah, I never had a Chromebook or anything like that. You know, I just
Isn't that Chromebook basically like one of those? Wasn't it called a netbook or something like that?
It's
back
kind
in
of
the-
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very similar where it doesn't have like a Windows operating system. It's kind of like just locked to Google stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that
same thing with those Fire tablets. You know, like you can
Yeah.
only use like Amazon like
mhm.
stuff that's approved on there. So those, if all you're doing is like looking at Facebook and checking your email and watching YouTube videos, it's fine. But if you're trying to stream or anything like that,
Yeah.
a laptop that's like a Dell or PC or HP, you know.
I wish they still made the Sony Vaio laptop. That's what I have. I got that thing in like 2012. It's still running strong over 10
Yeah.
years later. So
Wow.
I'd never heard of that. That's cool.
That's what I edited Dawn on was a Vio
Wow.
PC.
those are great laptops.
They would always use them for product placement in a lot of the Sony movies. Like,
Mhm.
like Peter Parker would be on a Vio or like, it's just like little shit
This
that they
was,
would
a,
throw
this
in.
was a PC, the Vio. that I-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they discontinued that brand though for some reason.
Jay Border's got an interesting one that we can continue.
Oh boy.
What do you guys think of Dead Meat and their kill count videos?
I don't know how they're still on YouTube. They
just
got
give-
friends in high places apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, you're a lucky man. That's all.
Yeah, you are. Because every time, like, I get on, like, whether I'm looking at like horror movie related stuff on YouTube or anything, dead meat, dead meat, dead meat, dead meat, and it's annoying.
When he's actually had cameos in, it was one of those Scream movies, wasn't it?
Scream 5, yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Oh no.
The, I mean, I think that he is kind of for the most mainstream like of audiences and the the Spencer's Gift people that go in there and all that shit. Like I just think it's a different audience, man. And
The Hot Topic horror movie.
It's the
fan.
mainstream bullshit, is all it is.
it's like he's legit got what is it like 5 million subscribers or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't get it. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's successful. We'll say that. So,
Mhm. He's spending like tons of money on these like ridiculous elaborate sets. I'm like, dear Lord, man. Like, have you seen like his setup? It's ridiculous.
no, I don't watch it. I've seen a video here and there, but yeah, I mean, he pretty much like with the kill count videos goes through the entire movie. I mean, with all the different death scenes and shows
Spoils
everything,
and
right?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to watch that. Like, you've already seen the movie, or you haven't seen the movie, in which case, why would you watch that video?
Yeah,
He's
but
done them
he's
for
for-
like everything too, like all
Mhm.
kinds of. I mean, I don't know how many different movies he's done, but the editing is great. It's like something you'd
Yeah.
see on TV. It looks professional and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does do underground movies. I'll give him credit. He doesn't do all mainstream movies.
Mostly.
But yeah, I mean, for me, like, it's quick edits. It's like, anything else these days, fast pace. A lot of his stuff's kind of shorter.
Yeah,
Um,
6 minutes or less.
people have a short attention span nowadays, so they got to keep it short.
Yeah,
It
I
sucks.
think that's what it appeals to. That
Yeah.
kind of fan.
A lot of people are adapting to the shorts too. Like they'll take video things that they'll normally have as like long term, and then they'll just like make it a short instead. And it's like it's very interesting. YouTube wants you to play ball with that, but it's like I don't know. It's a very weird system now of how it's changed and how the disgusting word algorithm, kind of what it means to different people and how it, you know, who breaks through what and why, and I don't know. Like how does that dude have 5 million? I have no idea. Like that's just wild to me. But then there's other people that deserve more, you know, as well, and they don't get the recognition. So
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's one of them because I really don't think he's one of them, but I think a lot of like the view, like, and I've noticed this with live streams with people that have like 60,000 subscribers or more. If they do a live stream, it's like they shit the bed, man. Like there's nobody watching at all. So I'm wondering is like, is it what we would call like clickbait videos that get their subscriber number up, or what is it? Because like, I think a lot of these people that are subscribed maybe don't even know who the hell these people are.
Could be even bots too. You don't know.
yeah, like the engagement is probably only so far, because like I've seen you guys get more views in a live stream than like someone who has like 40,000, 50,000 subscribers that I've seen too. Like you know what I mean? So it's weird how it just depends on, I guess, consistency, but also just like, I guess the brand and the personality. Because if you just have a plastic personality, you're just making certain videos that are just like clickbaity or gimmicky, like people are going to see through that. People come back for the personality. So I think, you know, when you're genuine, that's when people stick around. But sometimes, yeah, it's weird how the algorithm kind of pushes certain things out there and some things they don't.
Yeah, I don't get it. I've
Me.
kind of been playing a little bit with TikTok lately. I don't know if you guys are on there.
I never jumped on that, you know, and I know people are on what's that new thing that's replaced Twitter, Threads or something like that. I didn't get on there.
I need to get on there and figure it out.
Yeah, because apparently it connects to Instagram, so it's like
hell.
So if you have, you know, so you can kind of get your Instagram followers like on there as well, but it's supposed to be like a new Twitter that, you know, doesn't have that scroll limit crap and all that stuff now. So I don't know. I'm not signing up for it, but I just saw like my girlfriend was like, "Dude,
I'm
you're
signing
Threads."
up for it.
Like,
I'm going to get on that when I get off here.
right now. Yeah. So my girlfriend's on TikTok and like all that shit, but I've never, you know, people always say it would be good for my YouTube brand, but I just never I never even thought about doing it, honestly. I don't even want to install it. Like I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
good
not
on
sure
that.
either. But guys, I don't know what the fuck Uncle Bill's doing.
What was his plan?
I don't know. It didn't work evidently. So
that's fine.
But guys, we appreciate everybody joining us. Definitely thumbs the video up and everything. It helps us out quite a bit. And share it with your friends, family, and all your neighbors and everything too. And we will catch you guys next time over at
deadpits.com.
Give us the thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do.
I want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows, fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.